Vigil, Ante, and the Vigilante Antics by BelleAmant. Read by Oakshadow 5. Chapter 20. Obligatory Shopping Montage. The first feeling that Izuku processes upon waking up is confusion. This is because the walls have somehow changed from the soft beige color that Izuku has seen for over 2 years to a light blue. And then Izuku starts to notice all of the different furniture, and that the window has somehow shifted positions, and confusion turns to panic. But then Izuku bumps into Hitoshi and is panicked to get up, and he feels better knowing that his friend is still beside him, even if he's not sure where they are. And then Izuku hears the faint sound of Present Mike's indoor voice, and everything comes back. Right, Izuku thinks, taking a deep breath and letting it out slowly. Right, Eraserhead and Present Mike are our guardians now. We're not in the apartment anymore. Everything is, well, not fine, Izuku supposes, but it's not panic-inducing anymore. It just is, all things considered. Hitoshi stirs beside him, waking up with a loud groan. Izuku feels a little bad for bumping into him, knowing that the boy doesn't always get enough sleep, but Hitoshi slips out of bed before Izuku can even attempt to apologize. It's too cold, Hitoshi mutters the moment his feet hit the floor. He makes his way over to the closet, pulling out a hoodie and slipping it on, and Izuku holds back a laugh as he recognizes what genre it is. It's worth letting his friend get a little embarrassed, Izuku decides, when he sees Eraserhead's shocked expression at the sight of Hitoshi wearing his merchandise. It's absolutely worth it. Breakfast starts out as silently as it can, when 3/4 of the table are only focused on eating, but the fourth is an overly energetic blonde with a voice quirk. Izuku supposes that this is something that he and Hitoshi will have to get used to. They've never been talkers during breakfast, so the additional noise is a little unsettling. It's when Izuku is almost done that Eraserhead speaks up, pulling out a piece of paper and reaching across the table to put it between the boys.
Here,
Eraserhead says, and Izuku looks down at the string of numbers.
It's my phone number. School is still in session, so if you're not nearby and you need help, you can still reach me.
Thank you, Izuku says slowly, feeling a slight tinge of embarrassment creeping through him. But that doesn't really help us? Why not? Present Mike asks, and Hitoshi snorts. We don't exactly have phones, Hitoshi says, and Izuku almost laughs at the realization that flits across the heroes' faces. Oh, Present Mike says, then stands up. Alright boys, finish up and get ready, because we're going shopping! And that's how Izuku and Hitoshi find themselves heading to the mall with 2 pro heroes, off to buy who knows what. The trip is oddly domestic. Izuku and Hitoshi let the guardians take the lead, the males making their way through the crowd, completely unnoticed without the hero costumes on. It doesn't take long for Present Mike to announce their first stop, a phone store. He urges the 2 boys in, and a salesperson quickly approaches. Half an hour later, Izuku and Hitoshi walk out with their first phones. He does know that we could have bought them, doesn't he? Izuku thinks, eyeing Present Mike's back as the blonde leads the 2, Eraserhead silently strolling beside him. He knows we had the money to afford the apartment. Izuku supposes that he shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth, although he's a little put off by the purchase. Hitoshi seems to be in a similar state of discomfort, purple eyes glancing warily at the small bag that he now carries. They lock eyes, and try not to grimace when Present Mike pulls them into a second store. This one, a clothing shop. Come on, listeners, Present Mike says, and it's almost amusing to see how nobody nearby bats an eye at his choice of words, considering that they don't recognize him as the pro hero that he is. You 2 need some new clothes. We have clothes, Izuku says, confused, but any further comments are cut off by Eraserhead's snort.
Kid, your clothes are too small for you. Your pants and above your ankles already.
The underground hero points out, and Izuku blushes.
Don't worry about the costs, just pick out what you like. Got it?
Of course, Eraserhead, Izuku says, and Eraserhead rolls his eyes.
Aizawa,
Eraserhead reminds him, but he already knows that it's a losing battle when Izuku smiles innocently. Of course, Eraserhead, the brunette repeats, and then he lets Hitoshi pull him away before the man can get angry. It takes a while longer to choose enough pieces to satisfy Present Mike, who immediately pays for everything without batting an eye. Izuku shifts on his feet, unsure if he feels grateful, guilty, or apprehensive. He decides on all 3. At least Present Mike seems to be happy when they leave the shop, humming a tune to some pop song as he leads them to the food court for an early lunch. Izuku sighs as he takes a seat next to Hitoshi, setting down his bags before moving his chair even closer to the parapet, Eraserhead, seated across from them, watches as Hitoshi immediately leans against Izuku, chin resting right next to Izuku's ear. Voice barely a whisper, Hitoshi murmurs through slightly parted lips. "This feels like a fever dream." Izuku holds in his laughter, but his chest still shakes as he conceals the noise. He shifts his right shoulder slightly, a partial shrug to let Hitoshi know that he understands. Eraserhead's eyes dart between the two, as if trying to understand their conversation when he can't even read Hitoshi's lips. It only makes it harder to hold in his chuckling. "I mean, come on," Hitoshi continues, and Izuku can hear the snide that the boy is holding back. "Just a few days ago, we were running around, kicking ass. Now we're at the mall with Eraserhead." "And his husband," Izuku mutters in response, tilting his head down ever so slightly so that the pro-hero can't see his mouth. "I think that lands us solidly from fever dream to hallucination, though." Hitoshi snorts loudly, and Eraserhead raises an eyebrow at the sound. He opens his mouth, most likely to question them, but Present Mike saves the day by returning with food. Izuku and Hitoshi part, eating in silence as Present Mike rambles about whatever. A few times, Izuku feels the urge to respond, but he clamps his lips shut. Most people don't appreciate his mumbling habits after all. Hitoshi is an exception, but Izuku isn't going to test his luck with his new guardians. And besides, it's not like Present Mike really cares. Not really. Izuku isn't an idiot. He knows that he and Hitoshi are forcing Eraserhead and Present Mike to change their lifestyles, at least somewhat, to accommodate the two additions in their home. He knows that Principal Nezu required a hero to take the duo in, as part of the agreement. He knows that, after so many years hunting them down, it's highly unlikely that Eraserhead would want to deal with the duo even more, but that very experience is why he was likely forced into agreeing. He knows that, for how welcoming and inviting the men seem to be, there's no way they truly want Izuku and Hitoshi around. And that makes sense. It fits into every single belief the boys have ever had, every truth they've ever known. It's why, as they return back to the house, trunk littered with bags containing new stuff for the boys, Izuku lets a bit of his guilt slip away at the thought of what he'll have to do in the future. Having a real family, it's worth committing a few more sins. For Hitoshi. For his mother. For himself, for once in his life. It'll all be worth it, Izuku decides. And so, he doesn't feel quite so awkward as he traverses through a home that isn't his own, as he hides away in a room that doesn't feel quite right, as he sits down for dinner across from two heroes that don't want him to be there. It'll all be worth it in the end, Izuku knows, and he takes comfort in that fact as he falls asleep, Hitoshi by his side, like always. And the story continues. Izuku just starting Aizawa and Hisashi just hurts my heart. Like, yes, they've been betrayed by their parents and by almost all of the others in their lives, but come on, man, no. And also, it's my birthday! It's an extra birthday chapter. I'm recording this 2 days in advance, so it feels really wrong to say that. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 20 of Vigil, Ante, and the Vigilante Antics, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!